will be assigned to interior as Rick. Oceanside, Team Rush, come. Oceanside, Team, go ahead. Check in, that's the last. Oceanside, Team, interior.
Get off the roof. Get off the roof. Get off the roof.
Northcom engine 2115 on scene.
Coming down off the roof.
All units are evacuating the roof. Northcom, copy, all units evacuating the roof. RB, okay, the interior. Looks like we got an additional knockdown on unit 404. We're still working below the hull there. We got 2213 here on 406. I got some fire activity up top. Still working on a knockdown there. And looks like unit 408 should be all clear. And we do have an all clear on all three occupancies as far as the search. Copy, additional lockdown on unit 404. And you have all clear on all three involved occupancies. Northcom break, we have all clear. Northcom copy, knockdown on 404 and all clear. 2112, I'd like to stage 1 block back in the direction of travel. 2112 staging. I see from roof. Roof, I see, go ahead. 4x4 roof completed, heavy fire on the roof. We got room for one more and then we're getting off. IC copy, break, Northcom, heavy fire, smoke coming from ventilation hole. 2118, I'll release IC. 2118, bye. 2118, I'll let you bring your crew into the scene. I'll let you pull an additional line from 2113. I see Northcom copy. Heavy fire and smoke coming from ventilation. Heavy copy. Northcom, still 2106 around. 2106, copy response. 2112. I'll do this IT. 2112. 2112, you're assigned to salvage group. Bring your crew in and start salvaging the affected occupancies. 2112 copy, salvage group. Interior from 2211. Arbolino side stage, interior. Arbolino side T, go ahead, interior. Fire under control on unit 406. Copy, fire under control on unit 406. Northcom also copies fire under control 406. Arbolino's IC 2275 stage. Copy 2275 stage. IC from roof.
Hey!
Go ahead, roof.
Teammate! There we go.
We need some interior crews pulling ceiling on the side of the building. We still have heavy fire coming out of the roof. We got no hose lines in place. Copy, I have two crews coming in to pull hose. 2275. I'll do this IC, come on in. I need you to start pulling ceiling in unit 2406 and 408. Copy, pull ceiling in 406 and 408. I take our stop.
Come on, boys, get down.
This film clip really has presented us with an unusual opportunity that we have some real-time footage of an entire operation, particularly a roof operation, and typically we're a little more dependent on oral history of the event than what we have available to us today. And the intent here is we want to go over some of the things that went right and some of the things that went wrong. Obviously, this was a near miss, and it perhaps is a little more poignant than other events because we were fortunate. We were fortunate we didn't lose someone on this. Captain Diavola and his crew, upon arrival, correctly identified vertical ventilation as their tactical priority. They're familiar with this area, these occupancies in the particular area, in this area. Common attics are featured in several of the apartment complexes. They have experience with this building and buildings like this. So their initial actions of going to the roof and working towards what they thought was the seat of the fire were entirely within our SOPs. One of the things that I noticed right away is when they're up there, Diavola is behind his crew, his sounder and his sawyer are ahead of him. And given what they have with this building, two-story, multiple occupancy, 1970s era, ordinary frame construction, platform built, 2x6 rafters, skip sheeted, which would be consistent with the fact that this building at one time was covered with shake shingle. Since the retrofit, it's 3/8 ply, 30-pound paper, and asphalt comp shingle on top of it. Very workable roof, about a 7 and 12 pitch, comfortable to work on, and has a continuous ridge pole from end to end. So we see our unit working their way out on the ridge as they should be, and the sounder gets a little surprised when his hook goes through, and you'll also notice the captain to the left, he is in the process of motioning his crew back at the same time he goes through. Something that we've taught from the outset is when we sound aggressively, and we're always moving that hook in a 45-degree. Left, center, right, right, center, left. Not only to identify the structural members, but we want to be able to compare and contrast. We want to know what's going on around that structural member. In this case, we found out by default the hook goes through and the captain goes through right after that. Once they're repositioned, we have several good holes. According to what we're seeing, 6 holes they are producing. They're pressurized, and at this point we run into several problems. One being is we have another crew assigned to the roof that moves past or back towards the heaviest body of fire and puts another hole in, which really is completely unnecessary at this point. We have holes in, they are producing, they're pressurized. There is no reason to work back. We also see an instance of cross-country travel, which is definitely not within our scope of what we are supposed to be doing. Every step we take should be sounded first, and in some cases here it was not. That's not an acceptable practice for us. One of the things that we see early on is a second truck company is assigned to the roof group. In this case, they did not have a full complement of tools. As with any assignment on the fire ground, always take your tools with you. As the sounder or the hook man, in the event that your hook goes through, you know right away that conditions are severe underneath. You have two choices at that point. You may elect to take a second smack at it, open it up a little more. You've achieved your goal at that point. You do have a small ventilation hole, but now it's time to leave. The other option, of course, is as soon as that hook starts to sink, that you communicate to the rest of your crew, it's time to get off. You'll hear the engineer from 2177, his radio traffic.
Get off the roof. Get off the roof. Get off the roof.
To get off the roof. To get off the roof. The question has come up about a mayday. This was not a mayday situation. A mayday is specifically for a member who is in a position where he cannot effect self-rescue. In this case, Captain Diavola had extricated himself. It was in the process of getting his crew off the roof. One of the things that's missing as they repositioned to the B-boy side is ideally we would have had a second ground ladder in place, providing another means of egress. Another thing that we have to emphasize from lessons learned here is we simply don't walk anywhere that has not been sounded. That is a practice that is so unsafe that it defies description. You should never take a step on a roof anywhere that has not been sounded. In a perfect world, as soon as those holes are finished on the B side and they are producing and pressurized, everyone should be in transit off the roof at that point. Absolute minimal time on the roof after the evolution is completed. I want to spend a minute on one of the things that we teach from the first day here, which is go CPT, go. Get on, cut, punch through, and most importantly, get off. What we saw in this evolution was a delay in getting off. We want to get that finished, and we want to get back on the ground as soon as humanly possible. And one of the reasons that this was the successful operation that it was the fact that they knew their area, they knew the building, they knew their tools, and they knew their capabilities. So to start from the very beginning, we have our equipment that is peculiar to the truck. We should, with that truck assignment, be very conversant with our saws, our hooks, our axes, the aerial, the ground ladders, everything that goes into a successful vertical ventilation operation. Obviously, knowledge of the first in, it cannot be replaced. Knowing, in this case, that it was a common attic made all the other pieces fall into place and let us effect the save that we did. This was a very good save. Over the years, we've had similar incidents in similar and in some cases the same building. Great customer service in that the residents, their displacement was minimal because of early and effective vertical ventilation and a nice coordinated effort between the roof and the interior. Absolute minimum damage to the structure, very, very good job.